First in the studio with me is the Lord Mayor, Councillor Robert Doyle, who is probably the smartest politician I've ever met. You knew I was going to shout at you today, and you brought your attack dog in with you.
I just thought you should face your nemesis. You have been giving our dog Poppy so much stick over so long, I thought you should look her in the eye and tell her that, you know, what those awful names you use for her. So,
Schnookums.
yeah, this is Poppy the Wonder Dog.
Well,
So,
I would look her in the eye, but she doesn't seem to have any.
she's ignoring you. You know, she's got standards. You know.
Poppy, I should tell listeners, is sitting on the desk. She's not going to, is she, on the desk?
No, of course not.
Well, she's sitting on the desk being stroked by the Lord Mayor. She's a little black, curly, what is it?
She's a cross between a poodle and a Pekingese. And she's a wonder dog. And I just thought, you owe her an apology. You seriously owe her. I won't stop you shouting at me. I know that. You know, I'm going to the dentist after this, and I'm looking forward to that compared to being interviewed by you. But
did she travel here in the Lord Mayoral limousine? Did
she did. Yes, first dog came in LM 000. Yes,
she's the first dog.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, she thinks she is.
She's a very calm little animal. How
yeah,
old?
she is. She's 8, and she's a terrific dog.
Does she do any tricks, or just sit there like a
no? She's not some performing seal. No, she's a dog. You know, she has her own personality, and you know.
Will she lie down?
If she wants to.
Well, make it. Tell her. Well, she won't do it for you.
Well, she's got cameras on her, and she's got you here. I think she wants to keep an eye on you. But look, she might. She might.
Well, that worked well. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Speak. Can she speak?
No, she's a dog. Dogs don't talk.
Bark on a command.
You want them to shake hands and roll over.
Shake hands?
No, she can't.
What does she do?
She just looks attractive and, you know, adds an air of elegance. She adds an air of elegance to this studio.
Well, she does.
But I thought you might like to meet her after all this time of giving her a hard time. You know,
I'm delighted by that.
You've had much worse behaved guests in the studio than Poppy.
She is a very gentle, pleasant, very gentle eyes.
And she is. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Lie down. Yeah, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Does she often go to sleep when you're talking?
Well, you know, everybody else does. Why shouldn't she? Can I remind you, you were talking at that point as she lay down.
Oh, right.
She's now got her paws over her ears. It's terrible.
Okay. Now, this money, how can you waste $400,000 on a sustainability conference junket for people from the C40 workshop?
Okay. I think if places like New York and London and the other great cities of the world can do this, so can we. We've put aside $360,000, but I expect fully to get quite a lot of that back in sponsorship. And this is for developers, builders of infrastructure, technology and fit-out people to come, you know, the people who are really the best at this around the world, to come and look at Victoria Harbour, the Lend-Lease development in Docklands.
So they're going to fix the Docklands for
Well, they're going to look at that area and say, well, they can't tell Lend-Lease what to do. Well, but why would we knock back some of the best expertise around the world coming to look at what we do? That's what they ask us to do. We go over and talk about what Melbourne does. This is to bring world experts here to work with ours because we have them as well. And as I say, private enterprise will jump behind this. And I'll look forward to, now that we've made this announcement, I'll look forward to coming back in a couple of weeks and telling you who's on board. But what this is saying, you know, how do you create a precinct that is different? And Lend-Lease have Victoria Harbour, as you know. When I got all the CEOs of the Docklands together and we talked about the Docklands, one of the things that they were most proud of and why they're down there is that a lot of the buildings are 6-star, that it is a very sort of sustainable precinct. And what this does is look at Victoria Harbour and say, from experts around the world, what would make this a world-class sustainable community as a business community?
If Lend-Lease has helped to muck it up, why are we funding to fix it?
But I don't think Lend-Lease's development has mucked it up. I would say the Lend-Lease development is one of the showpieces of Docklands.
Fair enough. That's a fair point. There are other problems with the Docklands for which Lend-Lease is not responsible.
No, but if you think Lend-Lease, think of the National Australia Bank, the ANZ, the Gauge building, and then the bit that's to be developed further down, which is where the corner of Burke and Collins Street is, which our grandparents would never have understood if we'd said that. So what it does is give us a blueprint to say, if you want a world-class, sustainable business community, here is what you would design and here's how you would do it from the start. So yes, it's an exercise that brings together experts around the world. It is about developers, infrastructure building, technology, and private enterprise will jump behind this, and it is what the Docklands businesses want to be. So it's a part of making us a more competitive city.
Why is it being held in private?
Well, it's not private. There is a public
closed 2-day workshop.
Yeah, but that's when they come together and actually do the work. I mean, it's not a fishbowl. Then there's a day when they'll share their information. But this is bringing these experts from around the world to do the work and then to present it to the community on the 3rd day. So that's what it does. And I hope what it will give us is a real blueprint for an absolute business jewel in the Docklands.
And it's the C40 group, which is mayors who are worried about climate change, isn't it?
Well, it's about cities that are looking at sustainability. So it's chaired by Mike Bloomberg from New York, and Melbourne and Sydney were part of the original group that joined it. And it's one of those groups of cities where we come together and look at who does what really well and what could you replicate in our city.
But it's called the Climate Leadership Group, and the letterhead has got wind turbines on the front.
Yeah. Well, it may have. But, we do have wind turbines here. What it does is it looks at the prosperity of a city through sustainability. What do we do, for instance, to retrofit buildings? How do you make the traffic less congested? How do you deal with tons and tons of waste every day? So, probably not the sexiest problems in the world, but nevertheless ones that do affect people's everyday lives. And the beauty of this group is...
It's going to develop a rating tool for the Green Building Council of Australia's Sustainable Communities.
That's already done that. The Green Building Council of Australia have developed that rating tool.
What about Melbourne's municipal strategic statement and related structure plans which aim to achieve our eco-city goals through a precinct? What the hell is this about?
Well, it might be to you, but to planners it makes sense. Look, the municipal strategic statement talks about where should there be development in Melbourne, where should we actually slow down, and where should it be stable, so that we've got some certainty of development in the city. And development is prosperity, but it needs to be sustainable development.
Now, they had a meeting in Sao Paulo, didn't they?
Yes.
Is that the one you went to?
I did.
They paid your fare?
Yes, they did.
Is this the trade-off? We pay their fares here.
No, it's not a trade-off.
Well, we are paying the fares.
We're paying. This is a workshop. It's not a fully blown summit, which costs millions and millions of dollars. No, it's not a trade-off.
You told me that you went to Sao Paulo because they were paying the bills.
Absolutely.
You didn't tell me you were paying the bills for them to come here.
Well, hang on. It's not them, but we have been doing this. We have been doing this for probably 10 or 15 years now. Where we have benefited from the expertise of other people by going to the various summits. And this brings people here to say, how do we actually have a world-class precinct in the Docklands that works for business and for a sustainable community?